a second. See if we get some people. Oh, there we go. All right. Hey guys, sorry we had some technical difficulties, but we are back. We are Facebook native, so unfortunately if you were watching in YouTube, hopefully you find this video later and we're talking to you from the past. So we had some questions about Court of the Dead pins. This is the Comic-Con exclusive pin this year. This is the Kier pin. Sorry, let me just readjust that. Very cool. They do a variation on the skull motif every year. You can come to the Court of the Dead side of booth 1929 and get the Scavenger Hunt pin. And you have to go to 3 different booths. I believe it's Badali, Honcholo, and Insight Editions. Pick up some stamps and then return your quest card for a Kier pin. And then you can participate in quest number 2, which is an exclusive. They'll do a drawing for 3 winners to play an exclusive test of the Mourner's Call game with Tom Gilliland and Pat Marino. So yes, there is a Court of the Dead pin. And again, if it cut out last time, you should be sure to follow Court of the Dead on social media because I believe they will have some extra Kier pins to give away. So follow Court of the Dead on social media. Alright, someone asking about Sheev the Pathfinder. Sheev isn't in the crypt this year. She's still in the underworld, but she did not join us in the crypt at Comic-Con. Alright, so picking up where we left off, this is Galavarb, Eyes of the Queen. This is a premium format figure. If you guys saw, Olivia de Berardinis is doing some signings, and she did an artist proof signing of the Galavarb Eviscerator fine art print. So that's super, super cool. So this is the next evolution of Galavarb. She is an assassin and the spy for the underworld, more specifically for Queen Gethsemane in the Flesh faction. And as you know, the Flesh faction is ever changing. So instead of being confined to the seas of the underworld and the mortal world, this is a Naga snake form for Galavarb. And if you check this out, this is one of my favorite details. She is a snake, but she's got claws too. She has a blend of different grotesque and horrific anatomies that really make her an absolute predator in the underworld, which is super cool. And she's got scales on her shoulders and eyes. And you are seeing the collector edition. The exclusive edition has a swap out left hand with the touch of death, where she's got some deadly finger claws on her. So that's super cool. So that is actually available for pre-order now on our website, so you can check that out if you are interested. Next up, we have Cleopsis. This is the Eater of the Dead premium format figure. You're seeing her with one of her 2 swap-out heads that comes with, I think there's only the 1 edition of her, but this is her unmasked portrait. She is reliving the glory that death stripped from her. She was vain and greedy when she went to the mortal realm, and she grew too quickly in power, and heaven and hell got suspicious, so death had to bring her home and strip her of her power. But she never forgets the glory of her kingdom. So you guys can see she's holding a snake with that ethereal blue, and she is adorned in these beautiful cut and sew banners reminiscent of her forgotten kingdom. And there's scarab beetles down all over the base at her feet. They've got this beautiful iridescent color on them. We got some people asking, no, we are not in YouTube. This is Facebook native. We had some technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll be able to get some stuff back up on YouTube today, but we're sticking for Facebook right now because that's all we can stream on. Cleopsis is actually shipping now. Oh, someone wants to see the Pillars of the Rebellion, or Pillars of Rebellion banner. It is way up there. It is massive, but can we get a good shot of that? Any chance? This is more than life-size. This is the giant banner for the Court of the Dead, the beautiful Ian McDonald artwork, Pillars of Rebellion. And these are 5 of the most famous faces in the underworld who are leading Death's army, leading the charge, and the Celestials will never know what hit them. So you've got Demethiel on the left, Zyle, Queen Gethsemane in the center, Kier, and Relic Ravlatch. And this print there will be a print version available, extremely limited edition of only 100 pieces, available for pre-order on our website tomorrow. I don't know the date. Is it the 20th? Is it Friday the 20th? Tomorrow, Friday. Check it out. All right. So next up we have Demethiel, the Exalted Reaper General. This is a legendary scale figure. So our legendary scale, if you guys are familiar with that, is about half size. So this is about half the size of a real Reaper General. So again, like I was saying with Mordegal, the armor on this piece tells a beautiful story. He has got an underworld themed base. He's got, this is the Bone faction with a skull in the center of it. Really cool. I love I love the bases on all these things because they really set the scene for the character. But of course, you've got that beautiful and deadly grim visage of Demethyl. This is a huge piece. Someone is asking, will the Court of the Dead apple ever be available? I'll take a dozen. Well, again, I don't know. I sure hope so, because that apple sure has a lot of personality to it. We'll let the production team know that you guys are very interested. That would be a fun piece to have to display alongside of your court collectibles. So check this out. He's got 3 different arms pointing, ready to execute Death's judgment. He is one of Death's most loyal commanders, and he's got a massive scythe. That is scary. Again, legendary scale figure. He is available for order on our website right now. And yeah, you guys can check that out. Will those Etheria flames ever be available for sale? You know, that's the first time I've heard that asked. Again, we can let the production team know that you would love to have that as an accent to your Court of the Dead collection. That would be pretty cool. This crypt is so beautifully decorated, so we hope you guys get a chance to check it out on our website. Have you shown an up close of Death yet? Not yet. He is the last of the figures we will show you before we move to the board game, and then that'll wrap up our stream. But we've got a few more faces of the underworld to hit before we finish. This is Gethsemane, the Shaper of Flesh. So this is another one of Queen Gethsemane's ever-changing forms. This is the second Queen of the Dead premium format figure that has been released. This is her collector edition, the exclusive, which is extremely limited to, I think, only 300 pieces. Shows her with this, you see the dagger. This is her knife, her morphic razor called Sliss. The exclusive has a swap out arm where she is holding the dagger, ready to shape this mourner into a new form to serve the underworld. Again, she has some beautiful cut and sew details on her skirts, which are posable. And one of the cool things I learned about her crown, it's made of pelvic bones to represent that she is the queen and mother of so many mourners of the underworld. It's a really cool symbolic piece, and so this is a slightly different crown than you've seen on the first piece. Beautiful. She is Flesh Faction. We got some people asking. She is the leader of the Flesh Faction. She represents everything about the Flesh Faction. Change, ambition. Jamie Bauman wants to know, when will we see Drimdram? I have no information about that, but again, I love that people have definitely read the Chronicle and know all these characters. I love Drimdram and Loach, so we'll let the production team know that you're interested in seeing them. There are so many faces of the underworld that have yet to be explored, so we will let you know as soon as anything new rises from the underworld. So behind the Queen is the champion of the Flesh Faction itself. This is Odeon, the reincarnated Rage Maquette. This is not available for pre-order yet. There is an RSVP page though if you guys are interested. This guy is an absolute titan. He was created by Queen Gethsemane himself. He is Rage personified. There are some incredible details on this piece of the rust on the weapons and the nails. He's got nails sticking out of him in every direction, which are inscribed with runes from the underworld. And they are terrifying, and I'm sure they mean something very sinister. He's got some heads on pikes on his base, and the gore details are absolutely beautiful on this piece. It's fantastic, super cool. And I don't know what those weapons on his hands are called, but I would not want to meet the wrong end of them. Jamie Bauman, again, would like to see the one with the floating head. That is Elianastis from the Spirit Faction. She's my personal favorite character. So keep an eye out. I hope she shows up soon too. This is a Queen's Crown life-size replica. I believe there's also a preview page for this. Again, you can see those beautiful, the bone shape with the gem adornment in the center. This is another one of the life-size replicas that we have to kind of immerse people in what the Court of the Dead would really look like in the flesh, or in the bone, or in the spirit. So then we've got the Shard Mortal Trespasser premium format figure. I believe she's on waitlist right now, but you can check the website if you are interested in adding her to your collection. She is the first living, breathing mortal in the underworld. She will be essential to Death's quest to overthrow the Celestials. She's descending down a staircase base that you can see gets more and more of that ethereal blue as she goes down. And she is wielding 2 swords that have the trapped spirits of a heaven and a hell celestial inside of them. And again, she's got that incredible armor and that stoic stare. So cool. So back there is a Queen's Guard life-size bust. He is another art study like the Ravlatch life-size bust, just to kind of bring you face to face with a with a face from the underworld. See what it would like. He's a dragoon in the Queen's Guard, a red dragoon, I think. And I don't know much more about this character, but he is another really cool art study. All right. So then we've got Mallow Vestro. He is Death's chronicler fool, one of the most mysterious and mystical figures in the underworld. He is weaving the tale of the war between heaven and hell with his mystical scroll. It's got all these beautiful colors in it. This piece is insanely detailed, has beautiful cut and sew, and a really intricate base covered in coins and candles and skulls and books. Because you can just tell that he knows more secrets than he's letting on about the underworld. Absolutely incredible piece, and he is available for order now. All right, so this is really cool. So we're going to take a look at the Death Master of the Underworld premium format figure, but first let's take a look at the aspects of Death. So we've got several different mask replicas. These are quarter scale masks, and these three right here, the aspects of Death, each representing a different faction, these are interchangeable with the premium format figure. Or you can just, if you're collecting those cool masks and headdresses on stands, this is another great collection you can start in your Court of the Dead. So this is Transcending Vision. This represents Death's appreciation of the Spirit faction. This is the Echo of Five Nails, which is the Bone faction. And then this is the Chorus of Souls, which is the Flesh faction. So each of these can be interchanged with the Death premium format figure. And there he is, Master of the Underworld. He is available for order now. I believe he's shipping soon. And this is Death himself. He is the Underworld United. He will lead all of these crazy and colorful and beautiful faces in their rebellion against heaven and hell and end that selfish war. He's holding a scythe and he is standing above a well of souls. And he has, again, all these pieces are just laden with beautiful cut and sew and intricately sculpted armor. And it's really cool. And there is an exclusive edition that includes yet another swap out mask. I believe it is his Shepherd of Souls. And then this is Death's Ausane Unity quarter scale mask. I actually do not believe this one swaps out with the premium format figure, but I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, I will check that and correct myself. But this is another quarter scale mask of Death. He has many faces because he has to represent many things to everyone in the underworld. So check that out. That's available for order on our website. So let's see if we can get this in the shot. Excellent. So we're going to wrap up here, but still got a lot to show you of this board game. This is Court of the Dead Mourner's Call. We've got it on full display at booth 1929. It is not available for play yet, but if you do come along and participate in the Court of the Dead quest for the pins, you will get the quest number 2, and you could win a chance to play this game with Tom Gilliland himself and Pat Marino, who designed the game. So this is the board game in full display. There are 70 different miniature figures. There are a group from each of the factions. You can see their colors. There are Flesh, Bone, and Spirit. You can see the Pile of Etheria, the Mourner cards, the Wallows cards, which represent your quests, and the Rakers you have to fight, player boards, guild tracks, how much influence you have with each of the factions. And those are the player boards with some of the tokens and coins. And this is the Dread's Grip tracker because you don't want to succumb to your own dark urges, but you also need to keep down the celestial suspicion from heaven and hell. And don't let them know that we're up to a rebellion. And the box art on the board game is beautiful artwork by Alex Horley, who has done a series of fine art prints for the Court of the Dead as well. Martin Jorgensen wants to know, is there a date on the general release of the board game? I don't specifically know myself, but I believe it is intended for a fall, like a late fall release. We can check with the Court of the Dead team and let you know in the comments later. But if you backed the Kickstarter, you should be getting updates when the game is ready to come out. I'm super excited. If you did pre-order, you can get a Kickstarter exclusive faction sleeve on your box. So check it out. This crypt is full of souls right now. So we've got to get back to the mortal realm. So we're going to leave you here with one last look at the underworld. Ha, thank you for laughing. So if you are at Comic-Con, visit booth 1929, and if you are not, please visit sideshow.com/Comic-Con so you don't miss out on any of the action. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and don't forget to let your geek side show.